Now, here are the top 10 things that caught my attention while in Paris for the first time in my whole life. Hey everyone, it's Jay over here. Just wanted to give you some background on my past travels. The first time I took an international trip was when I was 2 years old. I don't remember any of that. I went to the Philippines. The next time after that, I was 10 years old, went with my family, took a month off from school, went to the Philippines to visit my family. Very good stuff. But since then, nothing. Not until this year when I visited Paris for the first time, courtesy of Linz. There was quite a few things that were, I don't want to say weird, but I found very different compared to the things I experienced here. Number 10 on my list of things that I found different was the money in Paris. I mean, it's not much more different than ours. We have coins and paper money, but I noticed with the coins, there was a 20-cent piece, which was different because, in America, we have a penny, we have a 5-cent, and we have a 10-cent and a 25. But there, they had a 20-cent. So that was just different to me. And also, I noticed that the money, the dollars, were also changed in size. So in denomination, the smaller bill would be smaller, and as it increased, the bills got bigger. Which is kind of cool because, if you're not able to visually see it, and just feel it, then you pretty much figure out that, hey, I got a bigger bill here, which is kind of pretty neat. Different, but very smart and pretty awesome. Number 9 would be the apartment we stayed in. We stayed at an Airbnb, and the bathroom sink was tiny. I mean, it was pretty small. I could literally put my foot in it, and my foot pretty much just fit in the outline of it. I don't know if that was just specific to the type of apartment at the time, or if that was the style of, I don't know. But compared to the sinks that we have in the United States, that sink was very tiny. So that caught my eye. Number 8 had to be the key. It was a funny looking key. Very, very different from the types of keys we had.
Take a look at it. That's a pretty unique looking key. Goes into this kind of lock. It locks. See those 1, 2, 3. So right now there's only one lock down here latched, but then you could lock these other 4 ones up here.
Now, talking about things that were different were cars. We saw a lot of Peugeots, Renoirs, and Fiats. But I also noticed some Fords over there, which were the Ford Focus. So that caught my eye because I didn't see any Ford Mustangs over there, but I get it because it'd probably be an expensive car to import over there. But there was a lot of smart cars, not just normal looking ones that you see here in the United States. These ones were tricked out, had rims and everything. So I guess since it's the more common car over there, there was, a little more spectacular looking compared to the normal stuff that we see over here. Number 6 on my list are to-go bags. So whenever we went out to eat, restaurants, whatever it may be, I noticed that I would have food left over. And Linz brought it to my attention that to-go bags weren't a normal thing in Paris. So say that I did want to take food home. 90% of these restaurants wouldn't even have the bags or boxes for me to do so. But, times are changing, and the millennials are now trying to push that, this is something that, needs to be done, and we should have this option. So number 5 on my list is cafe life. For example, here, in the United States, we go to Starbucks, at night you have people that go there, drink their coffee. They're usually sitting there by themselves, reading a newspaper or working on their laptop, doing homework, schoolwork, whatever it may be. But in Paris, it's more of a social thing where, you see a lot of people sitting at a cafe outside at a table. They may be smoking or not, but they're drinking their coffee. They're socializing. They're enjoying each other's company, talking about stuff, or even if they're by themselves, they're out there having fun, and there's people watching. They're just observing and seeing the daily or the nightly routines. Number 4 on my list was pizza. So we went to this really good Italian restaurant in Paris, and we each ordered a pizza. And it came, it was a pretty decent sized one. And, I cut it up into slices, and when I ate it, I ate it by hand. I picked it up, ate the slice. I looked all around, and other people that were eating their pizza, they were using a knife and fork. I'm not sure if that's the norm or, maybe I was missing out on something, but, I felt kind of weird using my hands, and I kind of saw people looking at me. I wasn't sure if they were looking at me because I looked out of place, maybe like because they could tell I was American, or maybe because I was eating pizza the wrong way, but I'm not really sure. That's something I'm going to have to Google and look into. Number 3 on my list is the word bonjour. Bonjour is going to be the magic word that is going to make your life as a tourist so much easier. Just something to remember when you're first coming to Paris is remember bonjour. It's a very important thing. Whenever I talked to anyone, wherever I was at, whatever the situation was, bonjour was always the first thing that came out of my mouth. And then, depending on the situation, I would ask if they speak English. 90% of the time they did, so it made things easier. But the first thing is to be mindful and respectful of where you're at and of who you're talking to. So that's a very important tip that I have. All right, number 2 on my list is men's fashion. So this is the one that really caught me off guard. So I noticed that the guys in Paris, regardless if it's jeans, slacks, or sweatpants, they wear their pants very tight. I mean like skin tight, not skinny jeans tight, but like very tight. I wasn't sure what to expect coming to Paris with fashion. Google some pictures, look at what the French style was, and I saw a lot of jeans, basically dress nice, very stylish shoes and everything. So I brought jeans that were over here, I would say relaxed fit, which were like pretty much the tightest kind of jeans I had in my wardrobe. I wore those to Paris, and I noticed that those were very, very baggy compared to what everyone else wore. I saw guys that wore skin tight jeans. I mean very skin tight, like tight on the calves, tight on the thighs, tight on the butt, tight on the crotch. I mean, some of it was even tighter than I've seen their girlfriends wear. So I was like, whoa, I mean, not to, talk bad about it, but that is something very different than what I usually see here. Oh, and one more thing. If you really do want to stand out as a tourist or as an American, this right here will make you stand out. Ball cap. I didn't bring mine because I found out beforehand that it would make me stand out, and it's true. You don't see many people wear ball caps there. If they do, either they're most likely tourists or they're just trying to have a different kind of look. And number 1 on my list is personal space. This took some getting used to in Paris. I'm used to having my own personal space wherever I'm at, when I'm walking around in a crowd or standing in line. When I was in Paris, I noticed that when you're walking in the metro or walking in museums, people they're walking like literally like walk into you, or in line they're like really close to you, and it just feels weird, feels a little different. I'm not used to having people that close to me at all times, especially if I don't know them. But it was a little strange, but nothing too terrible. For example, we were at the Eiffel Tower. I was in line on I think it was like the second floor. Well, that's what he considered the second floor, and I was in line to get some coffee, and there was this couple behind me, and they were, I don't know if they were just got married or boyfriend girlfriend honeymoon phase. I'm not sure, but they were like hugging and kissing and everything, and then eventually the girl ended up like leaning on my back, like leaning on me while they're smooching. They're like, mwah, 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 and they're like whispering stuff to each other, a different language. I don't know what they were saying, but it felt kind of weird. So as the line moved forward, I would move forward, give them their space, and that space didn't last very long. And the second letter, she was right up against my back again, moaning and smooching and everything. I was like, what the heck is this? I mean, it made me feel a little weird. I mean, I wasn't grossed out or anything. It was just kind of amusing. That was kind of funny. So those were the 10 things I found different during my first time in Europe. I hope that you found this very informative. I just had to remember that I was a guest there, and I hope that I did my best to, respect their culture and respect their way of life. Next time I go there, I know I do things a little bit differently, but for the most part, I think I did very well. And I hope to come back again and, do it all again. Check out our blog!